everybody, this is Plastic Commando, and we are in round 9 of Axis and Allies World War I 1914. It's a solo game with use of out-of-box rules, house rules, as well as custom miniatures. And first up is Austria Hungary, and Austria Hungary has a total of 41 IPC to spend this round. And they have elected to purchase 6 artillery, 1 battleship, as well as 1 transport. And then that'll give them 2 IPC left over for the next round. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the map. All right, in looking at the map, we've got... we had still have 3 infantry in Moscow. We're going to send 1 infantry over to Karelia, and we'll be taking that for an additional 2 IPC. And then as we look at the map itself, since the fall of Moscow, Austria-Hungary is continuing to move troops towards the Western Front, as well as accumulating troops in Vienna and sending those south towards Italy. And we still have a contested territory of Tuscany, but Austria-Hungary is not in a position to continue the fight just yet. We are going to move some additional forces down to the region, at least to Venice this round, and we will wait till the following round to make any further moves into Italy to have try to put us in a stronger attack position. We will go ahead though and move the machine gun unit that's in Venice down to Tuscany to firm up a defense in the event Italy decides to attack on their turn. But the remainder of the forces, we're going to continue moving towards the Western Front, and we're going to make some movements out of Venice, like I said, which we'll take care of off camera. Other than the move into Karelia, the only other combat that will take place this round is the Austria-Hungarian ships that are in Sea Zone 19 are going to move over into 17 and see what impact that they can make on the 2 ships from the United States, whether or not they can score some decent hits or just sink them all together. And it's a move that Austria-Hungary is going to make to see if they can try to make a difference into the Med and possibly shake things up sea-wise. And so we're going to go ahead and take care of these other moves off camera, and then we'll come back and we'll take care of the combat over here in Sea Zone 17. Okay, we are back, and we are going to go ahead. We've made our movements into Sea Zone 17, and we're going to roll for the Italian sea mines to see if there's any impact on our ships. And we'll go ahead and roll those now. We're looking for a 1 to hit, and anything above that is a non-hit. So, all right. Unfortunately, we did hit 1 sea mine. That is unfortunate. So we'll go ahead and take the cruiser, but likely at this stage it does not matter since their battleship is already damaged. So we're going to go ahead and roll for the battleship first. Got a 3, that's a hit. And then we'll go ahead and roll for a cruiser. Got a 2, all right. So we did score 2 hits. The United States, they will take 1 damage hit on this one. This one was already damaged, and so this one will be sunk. We'll go ahead and take that off. And of course, the United States will have their 2 rolls for their battleships, and these will be 4 or less. Okay, looks like they did hit 1 in return, and we will go ahead and take the cruiser. Okay, And now it's pretty well even. Damaged battleships. So we're going to continue the fight. Austria Hungary, 4 or less. Okay, they did get a 4. All right, and that will sink the U.S. battleship. But before it goes down, there is a return roll, 4 or less. And the U.S. ship scored a hit as well. So there are no remaining ships left in Sea Zone 17. Although Austria-Hungary lost more in IPC value than did the U.S., they did achieve their objective, and that's eliminating the 2 U.S. battleships out of the Med. So, okay, well that's going to do it for our combat. And then lastly, we went ahead and made our movements. We cleaned out Vienna, moved a significant amount of forces south, as well as into Trieste. Moved with 2 trucks. We moved additional infantry into Vienna as well. Moved the machine gun unit into Tuscany, and then moved additional units from Belarus down to Poland, as well as the fighter plane to Bohemia. Okay, we'll go ahead and place our new units purchased. The artillery will be in Vienna, and actually I'm going to have to, I'll put back another infantry back in there. I took that out by mistake. And the ships will go into Sea Zone 15 right off of Trieste. Okay, we'll be right back. All right, there we go. Moved 1 infantry back from Tyrolia just so we can place our artillery units. And then, of course, we've got our ships placed. And that's going to do it for Austria-Hungary for turn 1 of round 9. And Austria-Hungary is now at 44 IPC. And since Russia is knocked out of the game, we are off to Germany. Okay, round 9, Germany. Germany has a total of 53 IPC to spend. And Germany will purchase 7 infantry, 1 tank, and 2 cruisers. And that'll leave them with 1 IPC for next round. And we will now head over to the map. Okay, first, Germany's going to make a few moves in Africa. The German Schutztruppe that is in British East Africa will move over to Belgian Congo. And I put these markers on here to remind myself, because even though I found, even with my house rule that I'm using in East Africa for Germany, it's still, I think it's just by nature of this game and the map, it's easy to overlook Africa still. So I caught myself, I should have made some of these moves last round, but in any event. And then the 1 machine gun unit in the Union of South Africa will move to Angola, 1 space. And then the 2 units that are in Belgian Congo will remain. Also, Southwest Africa, the unit here, will go to Angola as well. Okay, so that'll be all the movements we're making into Africa for Germany. And we'll go ahead and take a look at Europe. Okay, Germany will resume combat in Lorraine, and the 2 units of poison gas artillery that had been previously moved into the territory is really the big decision maker that we're going to use against the French, and to see what, if any, impact we're going to have on knocking the French out of this territory. The forces that remain in Belgium, we are going to move some additional reserves into the rear before we launch an attack, so as not to be so far away logistically from the remainder of our forces. So there'll be no no movement of the forces in Belgium, but we will move our German forces forward to the front. And we do have the one fighter that's already in Lorraine that gives us air superiority. And for purposes of this battle, we're also going to move in an additional fighter from Belgium, and that's going to do it. So let's get these placed on the battle board, and we'll be right back. All right, it is the continuation of the battle in Lorraine, and Germany again has 2 units of poison gas, and we're going to go ahead and fire these first and see what impact we can get. We do have air superiority by nature of the 2 fighters, and because of that, all artillery will be at a 4 or less, including poison gas, and then our 1 infantry unit also had been advanced as well to 3 or less. So here's the 2 poison gas artillery units, and this will be actually 4 or less. Okay, looks like we scored 2 hits. That's a great hit there. And because of that, each artillery unit that makes a hit will actually take 2 casualties. Okay, so we've got 3 infantry only, so it doesn't have to be exactly, but it has to be up to 2 casualties with each successful hit. So we've got a total of 3 infantry for France that have been impacted. So we're going to look to see if there's any saving rolls. And again, unfortunately in Lorraine, we don't have the ambulance position there because we had, last round we pre-positioned it over in Picardy, given the impending attack from Belgium on Germany. So unfortunately we do not have an ambulance that would assist us on a 5 or 6 roll for France. So 1 or 2 will make a successful save with use of gas masks. 3 and 4, they will die on the battlefield and be eliminated immediately without any ability to defend. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll for the 3 French infantry. Okay, all right, looks like unfortunately we got 2 3s. That means 2 will be eliminated. Fortunately, 1 infantry did actually get a 1, so that was a successful save on France's part, so they will bring their infantry back. These 2, unfortunately, are eliminated with no ability for defense. Okay. All right, so the artillery is finished for the poison gas. We're going to roll for regular artillery at this point, which is 4 at 4 or less. Okay, and looks like we did get 2 hits there. Okay. We'll roll for the 1 infantry, 3 or less. Okay, that's another hit. And then lastly, for the 2 fighters, we will strafe the enemy positions, and we're looking for a 2 or less. Okay, we did score 1 hit. So Germany got an additional 4 hits that will be taken off, and France will need to keep an infantry unit there. So we'll take 3 units of artillery off, and France will decide to go ahead and eliminate their tank. The rationale for that is it's apparent that France is on the defense, and it's highly unlikely that they're going to launch an attack out of Lorraine anytime soon. So because of that, since defending tanks only have a 1 value, it makes more sense to go ahead and take the tank off. So, okay, we didn't quite do it, but Germany will remain contested in Lorraine, and we'll go ahead and put these units back on the map, and we'll be back in a second. All right, units have been returned back to the map, and you'll see that France is substantially weakened in Lorraine. We made our additional moves beginning in Berlin. These are the new units that we just purchased that are in Berlin, along with the 2 cruisers. Everything else moved directly from Berlin down to Hanover. The ones in Hanover went down to the Ruhr, including the 2 trucks that we had in Berlin as well. We moved down 2 additional infantry. So it looks like at this stage Germany not only has a fairly substantial force in Belgium, there's a very substantial amount of reserves coming. In fact, in the Ruhr, there's 3 tanks. Hanover, there's 2 additional tanks. 1 additional tank in Berlin ready to come down as well. So the Allies are going to have to put up a stiff defense. And not only that, they're going to have to be able to get some additional troops soon to the European theater. It's not looking good for the Allies at this point. Okay, that's going to take care of it for Germany. Again, Germany, I believe, is at 51 IPC. Looks like this round. They did have, I think, a carryover of 1 IPC. So that'll do it for Germany, and we are now off to France. France, round 9. France has 24 IPC to spend, and they will be purchasing 2 machine gun infantry units, 2 artillery, and then also 1 fighter. And that will give France 2 IPC left over for next round. Okay, let's take a look at the map. Okay, France forces are entirely in Western Europe on the map. And so this is going to be a short movement phase as well as turn for France. France will be able to repair their 2 battleships this round at the beginning of this turn. Okay. And the threat assessment in the Med has changed substantially since France had moved their ships up to be repaired. The threat assessment now remains with the German ships that continue to be produced. So because of that, France will be making a movement of 2 spaces up to the North Sea, right off of Britain. Okay. And that seems to be the most, well, that's the best position for the ships because, again, Germany is breathing down and intimidating, potentially signaling an attack at some point, or it could be a play as well. So we'll have to find out on that. Okay, the French forces in Picardy cannot attack. They cannot move either because every man and artillery is needed in that province because it's most assured that Germany is attacking next round and likely from not only Belgium, potentially from Lorraine as well. So there could be a 2-prong attack. And France will be moving additional forces. They will be moving their, well, we're going to go ahead and move the 2 tanks as well into Picardy. And again, for purposes of the video for now, as well as the infantry, they will be, I'm going to put them here because I've got to add to the mix and have to clean that up off camera. Okay, and then we're going to place our new units. And lastly, the Portuguese troops that are under the command of the French will be moving forward to boost and try to assist with the defense of Lorraine. And that's going to do it, looks like, for France this round. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and place our units. And that's going to do it for France this turn. And we are now off to Britain. Round 9, Britain. All right, Britain's got a total of 28 IPC to spend. And Britain will be purchasing 1 poison gas artillery unit, 1 tank, 1 infantry unit for India, and then 4 infantry as well for London. And we will go to the map. Be right back. Okay, Britain has had enough of the Hun pressing down upon Western Europe, and Britain is now going to make an attempt to dislodge the Hun as best they can. So the units are from Britain that are in Picardy will be making a full attack into Belgium, which includes a stack of infantry here totaling, there's 20, there'll be 22 infantry that's coming from Picardy, as well as 7 regular artillery, 1 poison gas artillery, 1 tank. Okay, and then secondly, the 7 infantry units that are in London will load on the transport ships, and they will hit Belgium from the coast, and in doing so there will be amphibious assault by the British battleships. Okay, all right, we are going to put these on the battle board and the German forces, and we will be right back. All right, it's time to get to the combat. The British battleships, there are 3 that will do shore bombardment. We'll go ahead and proceed, and we're looking for a 4 or less for each. Okay, looks like we got 2 hits. Okay. All right, now again, by out-of-box rule, I should say, there's 7 infantry that are landing via amphibious assault, and so based on the out-of-box rules, enemy artillery is present, and so as such, Germany will now roll for 7 artillery as the British troops are unloading, and any hits that are obtained by the German artillery will be removed with no chance for the infantry to attack in the land combat. Okay, alrighty. So let's go ahead and make our rolls, and it'll be a 3 or less. Okay. So it looks like well, I turned that one over. Germany got 1 hit. Yeah, wow, only 1 hit by Germany. Okay, that wasn't much defense, but it is what it is. So we will take 1 chip away, and now we will proceed accordingly. Okay, we are going to fire. Well, I'll note too, with the artillery, we've advanced 8 troops forward. That'll be 3 or less, and then our tank as well. So we're going to go ahead and roll for our poison gas artillery first. And again, on this one, we will be looking for a 3 or less. All right, we've got a 2, and that's a hit. So because of that, there'll be 2 German casualties that are taken from the get-go. And we'll go ahead and take these 2 off. And there is no adjacent areas or territories that ambulances are present and hospitals. So these 2 will actually roll though before we take those off, just to see if there's a saving roll. And we're looking for a 1 or 2 to effectively thwart the effects of the poison gas. And any additional 3, 4, 5, 6, unfortunately, will indicate they're killed in combat. So let's go ahead and make those rolls. And we got a 3 and a 6, so both of those will be eliminated by poison gas. All right. Now, I just realized too, the German machine guns actually should have fired before we actually fired our poison gas opening round, but we'll go ahead and take care of that as well. So Germany has got 3 machine gunners, and this could potentially be a devastating blow to up to 6 British infantry that would be eliminated and would not be able to attack this round as well. So let's go ahead and make these rolls. And for this, we're looking for 4 or less. Okay, 3 4s in a row. So Germany made a successful defense with their machine guns. And we'll go ahead and take 6 casualties, 2 each. Okay. And again, similarly, the Brits do not have access via an ambulance to get to a nearby hospital, which would only be the one in France. So as a result, a 1 through 5 is an immediate kill on the battlefield, and even rolling a 6 is a moot point. So these 6 are eliminated. So that was a devastating blow to the Brits. Okay, took that a bit out of order, but we'll go ahead and continue with the attack by Britain. So we got 5, 6, 7 regular artillery. Okay, and we will go ahead and roll for these. Looking for 3 or less. Okay, there's a hit. And that's it. A lot of 5s and 6s. All right, so let's go ahead and roll for the infantry that are 3 or less. That'll be 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, looks like there's a hit. Two hits only. Not going well for the Brits. Okay, now the 2 or lesses. So there's 10, 11, 12. All right, apologize for that. I noticed my battery died on me. But in any event, I did finish up the rolls. I did notice there was an extra chip that I meant to take off for the Brits. I'd rolled for the tank as well, and we did make a hit. We had 11 hits in total, and because of that, I took off 11 infantry for the Germans, and that's where I was going to stop. And in any event, we're back, so apologize for that. So Germany is going to roll. So we got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 3 or less for the infantry we're going to do first. And we'll go ahead and take care of these. All right, again, 15 3 or less. Okay, looks like we got 2 here. All right, there's 4. 5, looks like 6 total. Okay. All right, now we will go ahead and roll for the artillery. It'll also be at 3 or less, and we have, let's see, there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 with the 1 on top. Okay, so it'll be 14 at 3 or less. Alrighty. Okay, looks like got 2 more hits here. Alright, there's another. We got a 1 in the corner. And I do believe that is it. Alright, that looks like that's going to be it for Germany. So in total, Germany got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They got 11 hits as well. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take 11 off for the Brits. And we'll just make it simple. We'll take the blue chip and the infantry. Okay, and this this round is over. It's going to remain contested in Belgium. The Brits, they accomplished what they set off to do. However, I do believe the Germans has got the best of them on this one. So, but in any event, it's contested, and we'll go ahead and take these. We'll return back to the map, and we'll be right back. All right, back to the map. Again, by having video, I did catch another error. I am tending to forget about my tank rule. So one of the British infantry that I'd taken off, I did absorb into my attacking tank. And so we've added 1 more chip to our cleaned up stack for Britain. And as you see, this territory of Belgium is contested. We've reduced the IPC for Germany because of that. And we've went ahead and placed our new units in London. We put 1 poison gas artillery and the 4 infantry. And then the other Indian infantry we purchased and the tank, we've got those over in India. So that's going to do it for Britain this round. And we are now off to the Ottomans. All right, we're in round 9 for the Ottomans. And the Ottomans have a total of 35 IPC to spend. They had 2 remaining from the last round. And we'll purchase 6 artillery as well as 3 infantry. And that'll give them 2 IPC left over for the next round. All right, let's get to the map. Okay, the one objective that the Ottomans have this round, they will move south into Kazakhstan, and they'll pick up another IPC from the former Russian territory, and we'll go ahead and adjust the IPC scale and get us a marker on there just in a second. And then at this stage, the Ottomans are basically content, strategy-wise, to make movements. And they'll be moving their 2 tanks from Ankara, as well as the 1 infantry. And we will also load or transport with 2 artillery. Okay, and we'll be moving this over to C-Zone 17 with the idea of landing in Naples to support the Ottoman forces that are already present. But before doing that, we're going to have to evade the Italian sea mines, and it'll be funny if we lose it all. But we're going to go ahead and take that gamble, and we're looking for anything but a 1. All right, we've got a 3. That works. So we will go ahead and drop off the 2 artillery into our existing stack. There we go. And that'll bolster the force for the Ottomans. Okay. We are going to move this truck back to Constantinople, and then we will be loading up 1 more artillery unit, Constantinople, and we'll go 2 spaces through Ankara over to Mesopotamia, and we'll add into the regular artillery here. Okay, I think that was all on camera. So that leaves, at this point, we've got 1 infantry, 1 artillery in Constantinople. And I think that's all the movements that we're going to make for the Ottomans. So we're going to go ahead and collect our IPC and be right back. All right, I've got our markers on the board. The Ottomans now are sitting at 35 IPC. And the force in Mesopotamia continues to grow, as does the defense of Persia. So we will see how that turns out next round. Now it's off to Italy. Okay, round 9, Italy. Italy has gone all out this round. They have purchased 1 infantry. And on the upside, they have 1 IPC for next round. Guess you can detect the sarcasm, but Italy is in rough shape. No other way to say it. All right, we'll head over to the map. All right, likely the quickest round ever. We placed our 1 new unit in Rome. Italy is, their best options are for defense rather than attack with infantry. So that's going to do it for Italy. And again, they are at 3 IPC. So we will now go to the United States. The United States has 22 IPC to spend, and will spend all of the amount on 2 infantry as well as 4 artillery. And then let's go take a look at the map. Okay, the U.S. is going to shift some units around. Burgundy in France is completely empty since the Portuguese troops had moved up to help defend the line. The U.S., though, will move its 2 infantry units into Burgundy, along with its 2 tanks. And the ambulance is actually going to go, let's see, 1, you know what, we're going to keep the ambulance in Burgundy for now, so we'll go 1 space. The truck itself will remain in Marseilles, and then the American infantry, poison gas artillery, 3 of which will advance to Marseilles. And the U.S. will also, in Picardy, if I can get this on camera, this is 1 artillery unit, will move over to Burgundy, and I'll need to get an actual piece for that, and we'll take care of that off of camera. Okay. Let's see, come around the table. Okay. The additional moves that the U.S. will make with their forces that are in Picardy, they'll be moving into Belgium to help bolster the British lines, and that'll include 6 American infantry, 1 regular artillery, as well as 1 poison gas artillery. And I'll have to do a little bit of cleaning up in that territory, but all the American units are now in Belgium. Okay. And the truck itself will remain in Picardy. Okay, so now the ships. We are moving the transports that are currently en route 2 spaces, C-Zone 15, 3 of which, and we'll be landing American troops in Brest, which includes the 3 infantry, 2 tanks. Okay. All right. And then lastly, we've got 3 transports, that are en route to C-Zone 1, and they will pick up the 6 American infantry, and then they'll head back out to C-Zone 2, heading back to Europe. Okay. I think that is going to do it for all of the moves for the U.S. at this point. Again, the U.S. still has a cruiser helping the Brits. And I think that's going to do it, but we'll be right back. Okay, we've got our units placed in the U.S., newly purchased. And as you can see, we're continuing to shuttle forces to Western Europe to try to make a difference. And yeah, things are shaping up, but not at the speed that I would like, unfortunately. Just to summarize real quick, there's a stiff defense right now in Lorraine, but I don't know whether or not it's going to hold the next round. And then the Brits and Americans have stiffened up their line in Belgium. What concerns me, though, are the troops that will be pouring in from Germany on the next round. So we'll see whether or not that line is going to be able to hold. If the line is unable to hold and Britain and the United States forces are expelled out of Belgium, killed in action, I think France is in big trouble. Italy is surrounded, and there's likely to be combat in Italy next round. And then the situation in the Middle East with Mesopotamia and Persia, again's a dam ready to break. One side's going to give, and whoever does make the first move likely will make a mistake. But I do think the Ottomans have the upper hand, and I think the favor will go towards the Ottomans. And I think that's going to do it for round 9. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the Plastic Commando, over and out.